Hello, all you fantastic Riverdale artists. Jamie McLean was good enough to ask me to just say a few words, but as most of you know, that's really hard for me to just say a few words. My name is Gary Smith. I was one of the early, not a founder, but really at the beginning. March had already registered the organization, and we've had so many people just volunteer and do so much. Russell was looking after us, and Liz was looking after the accounting, and March, and Barbara Lewis, and a lot of people that are still there. I volunteered to be on the board, and it was the best experience for me. I was under. I remember Jamie was the chairman, and I was the vice chairman. I was the vice chairman for 13 years, so I was there before Jamie was. But I do have to. He asked me to do a couple of things. One, how is belonging to the organization helpful to me in my career? And two, to share any experiences about Riverdale ArtWalk, which is I have quite a few. The whole experience has always been good. It's all volunteer. Everybody worked their buns off, and I would say it introduced me to the area when I moved there. It got me into shows. I learned a lot by being on the board. I'd always recommend that you volunteer and get involved. If you don't, then you get emails and you participate with some events. But we had spectacular events at like the Mercedes-Benz showrooms and of course Riverdale Art Walk. Now the Riverdale Art Walk, uh, one of my most dramatic experiences there was I was too cheap to rent a tent, and I borrowed one. And it turned out to be one that really didn't have poles, or I just borrowed any kind of poles I could and tried to tape it up. It was raining. It kind of collapsed, so it was a tent that was started off like this, but it was collapsed like a shopping bag or an IKEA blue bag, and everybody had a good laugh. Back then, thank goodness, Instagram wasn't around, but if it had been, I'm sure it would have been recorded, and everybody would have had a good laugh at my expense. I've participated in many, many shows there and sold a lot of paintings. And in the gallery that we had, on Queen Street, sold a lot of paintings. That was really a great experience. But it was all the artists, fantastic artists, everybody doing their own thing. And but I think that the people who volunteered to be on different committees or on the board proper, they got the most out of it. Um, Another experience I can't help but remember was one day the tent I had was kind of halfway crowded by a big tree in front. So it was kind of behind it, and I didn't have enough wall space then to put up my painting. So I put one painting leaning up against the tree. And I was talking like I always do, had a crowd of people, and a lady came up with her dog who just, I guess he was bored by the talk, and he just walked up and lifted his leg and peed on my painting. And everybody went quiet. And I looked at it and I thought, well, I can wash it off. It was acrylic painting. And the lady said, "Isn't that cute?" So you can have lots of experiences of all kinds at the Riverdale Art Walk. I also enjoyed being the judge a couple of times, which was really a good experience. Once you go into judging, you tend to look at paintings in a different way, and you see so many paintings and so many that are the same, that it's a very good experience. Now, what it did for my career, it wasn't necessarily the art walk, but the organization. I started showing more and more. I finally had to withdraw from the board because after 13 years, it's getting time consuming. And I was starting to show in New York and France and Paris, a few places. And I was in a show in the Louvre Carousel, which was the beginning really for me in 2013. So I was in a figure drawing competition there as well as the exhibition, and won first prize. Done that twice. I go back as a juror, drawing nudes, and a Chinese agent picked me up, and she's a global. It's called Eureka Global Fine Art, all over the world. And with her help, I showed in China a lot and started to become the guest of China. You guys didn't see me anymore after that because every year I was going to China, to different places, being hosted. In China, I guess, like everywhere, if you're old, you're sort of invisible. But if you're old And you're standing up there with all these politicians, and they're treating you with some kind of like you're special. Everybody thought you're special, and I just went along with it, you know. But it was really, really, those are great experiences up until COVID. And so during COVID, I moved to St. John's, Newfoundland. So I miss all you guys, and I wish you well. Have a great Riverdale Art Walk again. It's impressive that it's gone on for quite a while, and all the best to you.